In this skill lesson, we will discuss writing a thesis statement. Here is our learning objective. After reading and discussing a model of student writing, students will develop their drafts by composing a clear thesis statement in response to a prompt. Let's start with a question. Recall a disagreement that you've had in the past. What was each person's main idea or claim? What reasons did each person give to try to persuade the other person to agree? I'm a father of four, two of whom are teenagers. We've had our fair share of disagreements. No, Logan, you can't go hang out with your girlfriend until midnight on a school night. I don't care how many reasons you give me. And there was also that one time my daughter literally put together a slideshow presentation to persuade me to buy her a gerbil. I said no, but she still got the gerbil. Her points may not have persuaded me, but they did persuade my wife. And this is the basis of a thesis statement, making a claim or an argument along with a few points summarized into one concise sentence. And that brings us to our tasks for this lesson. First, if you haven't already, watch the concept definition video and read the introduction on tab 1. Next, complete the vocabulary drag and drop activity on tab 2 to make sure that you are familiar with the terms used for this skill. After that, carefully read through the model page. The top half contains specific instructions and a checklist for writing a clear thesis statement. The bottom half contains an example of the process that Caroline used to draft her thesis statement. Go ahead and pause this video and work through tabs 1 through 3. Return to this video after you've finished reading through Caroline's process and her thesis statement. We'll discuss a few aspects. Welcome back. Now that you've had a chance to read through the model page, let's talk through a few aspects of Caroline's process and her thesis statement. The model shows how Caroline writes the first draft of her thesis statement. How does she begin? Answer: she creates a chart to show key points from each text that she plans to write about. How does the chart help Caroline prepare to write her thesis statement? She is able to organize her ideas about the three texts and determine what larger idea they have in common. You might be wondering if you'll have to do the same thing. It's optional, but I would highly recommend it. It's an effective way of finding a common thread in your evidence, which is exactly what you need for a strong and clear thesis statement. Finally, what does Caroline determine that each text has in common? All three texts use language in a powerful way that helps shape the world. This becomes the main claim of her thesis. And here is her thesis statement. The authors of She Unnames Them, Letter from Birmingham Jail, and Speech to the Second Virginia Convention all want to change the world, and they use words to bring about that change. Notice the structure. It is one sentence long. It begins with the sources that she is referencing, and it concludes with her central claim, the common idea that she identified in each text. This is a great structure to follow. And that brings us to our final tasks. Complete the short Your Turn activity on tab 4 and check the results for your own understanding. Finally, when you're ready, jump over to tab 5 and write your own thesis statement. Let's look at the prompt. Use the steps in the checklist on the Model tab to draft a thesis statement for your literary analysis. It may be helpful to create a chart like Caroline did to identify a common thread in the text that you've selected. When you finish drafting your thesis statement, type it in the box below. Creating a strong and effective thesis statement is the starting point for any good argumentative essay. It gives you focus and a map to follow. Although I'm not going to grade you on this drafted thesis, I'm happy to give you feedback and suggestions. Just talk to me.